Alright, hey guys, this is take 3. I apologize for the problems, but for some reason my mic on my headset has been acting up and it's been sounding weird. And I don't know why, but I haven't used the computer audio. And yeah, so hopefully this is better. Um, I'm trying a new style of video today. It is NFL predictions. This is going to be for week 3. Now, I get that it's technically Friday morning. I missed a game. You're probably thinking, oh, you cheated. You probably picked the Niners. And yeah, I did pick the Niners, but only because I think they're the better team. Obviously, it's the Giants. But I'm going to prove to you that I did pick the Niners first. This was at 4:58 p.m. on Thursday, so like 20 minutes before the game even began, and I picked the Niners. So this proves that I didn't change my pick and that I actually thought the Niners were going to win to start with. So yeah, hopefully I can continue to make this a series, but we shall see what happens. All right, so let's get into the picks of the week 3. All right, so like I said, the Niners are the better team. They've past couple seasons have been really good for them. Brock Purdy, really good season at the end of the year, and he's been doing pretty good this season. They're 3-0 now, which is incredible. But even when I made this video, they were 2-0. The Giants, I don't remember what game they won. I think it was a kind of a fluke. But the only reason they were good last season was because Saquon Barkley. I still don't think the Giants are a very good team. The only reason they beat the Vikings in the playoffs, that was because the Vikings were just sucked. Honestly, they shouldn't have even made the playoffs because I think like almost all of their wins were one-score games. It was kind of ridiculous that they even made it into the playoffs. But whatever. The next up is the Ravens. I picked the Ravens over the Colts because I feel like the Colts aren't a very good team. They haven't really been good since Andrew Luck left. I think they had one good season with Phillip Rivers when they made the playoffs, but nothing since then. They've really been trash since then. They haven't been able to do much as a team, and they haven't been able to accomplish much. And it's in Baltimore. I think the Ravens win this. The Ravens are the better team. They've been pretty good for a while. Good coach, good quarterback. Um, I think they eke out a win with this one. I think they're 2-0 as well, which is pretty impressive. So those first two were easy. This third one was a bit more difficult. I wasn't sure. This one was like the first toss-up, I would say, between the Titans and Browns. Both not very good teams. The Browns, their first win was against the Bengals, but again, that was a rivalry. And the Browns, they usually win that rivalry for some reason. Don't know why, but they just have a history of winning. And the Bengals have a history the past couple seasons of underperforming at the start of the season. So I'm just not going to really count that for much for the Browns. I don't think they're a good team. They're still the Browns. They've been bad for basically the entirety of their franchise. They've had like 2 good seasons. They made the playoffs only like 3 or 4 times in the entire franchise history. They've had like how many quarterbacks since 1999? At least 20. They're trash. It's embarrassing. The Titans, I mean, the Browns are still better than they were a few years ago, but they're still really bad. Titans, they choked at the end of the last season. I don't think they're a very good team. Also, I like Derrick Henry, and I just don't like the Browns. I don't think they're a good team. And uh, Titans, I think Titans will win this one. I think it'll be close, but if the Titans don't win, I won't be surprised because I don't think they're very good either. Both 1-1, so it's kind of a toss up. And then Falcons and Lions. This one's kind of surprising. I did not know the Falcons were 2-0. I did not know that at all. I think the Lions are 2-0. I think they are. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they're 2-0. I said this in the recording before, but I can't. I didn't confirm it. And no, they're not. Okay, who did the Lions lose to? The Seahawks. Oh, and they lost in overtime. Okay, I remember this game now. Now that's kind of surprising because the Seahawks had a really bad game against the Rams. But then again, they never beat the Rams. It's kind of like a thing that they just can't beat the Rams for some reason. So, and it was an overtime game, and look, they still scored 31, and they beat the Chiefs the first game of the year. I think the Lions are the better team. and I would pick them because I think they were really good at the end of the last season. They almost made the playoffs, which was incredible because they were like 4-7 to start the year. I think they were just a really really bad team, and yeah, I think the Lions are actually, even though I'm a Packers fan, I actually think they're a good team, and they will beat the Falcons. The Falcons just barely eked out a game against the Packers, 1 point victory. They kind of got lucky. The Packers kind of choked in the fourth quarter, which is weird because it's against the Falcons. But whatever. They're not going to be 3-0. That's I'm almost certain of that. Packers and Saints. I actually think Packers. It's in Lambeau. First of all, second of all, Jordan Love. If he's on fire right now, if he stays on fire, they're definitely winning. Uh, they seem like the better team. They should have beat the Falcons. They should be 2-0, but they're not. I definitely have them taking the victory over the Saints. Saints, I think they might be a little better than maybe last year or the year before. They're still not a very good team. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Maybe, just because their division's so weak. Um, because I'm thinking who's better than the Saints in their division? No one. Honestly, the division's just ass. But yeah, I think the Packers will win. They're just a better team. Let's see, Texans, which is surprising because I didn't think they'd be good this year at all. Texans and Jaguars. This is going to be a messy game. I mean, it has a lot of history. What was it? Finnegan was Finnegan was on the Titans actually, huh? But it's a rivalry game. Is the point? Jaguars. They dropped a game. I don't remember what game it was. They beat the Chargers though, which kind of surprised me. But I knew it'd be a close game. And it'd be a good game. Or is that the game the Chargers played? I can't remember, but it was in the playoffs, and it was an interesting game to say the least. But the Jaguars, they surprised me at the end of the season. I can't believe they made the playoffs. They made the improbable happen. They won like 10 games in a row. It was crazy. Trevor Lawrence went off, except for that one game. But yeah, it was incredible. And the Texans they just shit the bed the whole season last year. They couldn't even get the first round pick, but the Bears have it. And yeah, they're just not a good team. They don't even know how to choke properly. So yeah, this is going to the Jaguars. The Bears, I mean the Broncos versus the Dolphins. That's the Dolphins. The Dolphins actually were a really good team. Last season, I think the only reason they didn't move on is because Tua, he had a lot of problems, injuries, and he kind of just wasn't playing as well for some of the games. And they should have made the playoffs, but they kind of choked a little bit at the end. I think they can make it up for it this year. I think they can make up. And the Broncos, they're 0-2. They're even worse than last season, if I recall. Russell Wilson still. I think they're scoring more points, barely. They're scoring more, but they're still not a good team. Just when their offense starts to do better, their defense starts to do worse. And the team has just not seen any success. They have Russell Wilson, and not even he can do anything. Chargers versus Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are a very good team. They're 0-2, actually, funny enough. And I think they're better than 0-2, but are they better than the Chargers? No, because I think the Chargers are a good team. They should have made the playoffs last year. Did they? No. Yes, they did. They did make the playoffs. And they were a good team last year, and I think they're better than the Vikings. The Vikings, but I think the Chargers are the better team. Vikings, they're not. They just got lucky. They shouldn't have won that many games last season. They just weren't a good team. It was a fluke. They should not have won that many games. Anyway, I'm moving on. Patriots versus Jets. I have the Jets. I mean Patriots. I'm sorry. For a few reasons. First of all, the Jets don't have Rodgers. That's kind of the big thing, right? Second of all, the Patriots, you almost always beat the Jets. Now, not the same Patriots, they're kind of a shell of themselves from 4 or 5 years ago. But um, it's Bill Belichick, and he doesn't lose to the Jets. I mean, he does, but will he? To a broken Jets team who has a quarterback who likes women twice his age. Yes, I just had to mention that. Zach Wilson, yeah, he's improved a little since Rodgers came on the team, but he's not nearly good enough to lead them over the Patriots. I do not think so. I don't think the Jets are going to have a very good season this year. I'm sorry, Jets fans. I am very sorry. I wanted to see Rodgers play too. I'm sad with you. Anyway, Bills versus Commanders. This is another wild one. There's two teams that I can't believe are undefeated. One is the Falcons. The second is the Commanders. I can't believe the Commanders are undefeated. Total luck again. I think it's like last drive scores or something that the Commanders have won by. It's like twice. And they're not a good team, let's be honest. I mean, they didn't like what were they last year? They were like the worst in their division. They choked. I mean, again, they were in a tough division last year. The division looks to be tough again, at least between the Cowboys and the Eagles. But Commanders, no. The Bills, they didn't have a good game against the Jets. I don't remember what game they had after that. I didn't really pay attention to week 2, but I don't think they'll continue to choke, especially against a team like the Commanders. I think the Bills win this one fairly easily. Uh, Panthers versus Seahawks. I almost feel like the Panthers are a joke at this point. Like, I forget they win games even. Who is their quarterback? Is it Bryce Young? I mean, and who's their running back? I don't know. Honestly, I challenge you to name a single Panthers player other than Bryce Young because they just drafted him. But name someone other than Bryce Young. I can't think of a single player on their team. They have like nobodies. They, it's just kind of sad. And Seahawks, well, they're not. Eh, they're decent. I don't think they're. Are they as good as they were last year? Well, actually, they weren't good last year. They missed the playoffs. But I think the Seahawks win. Wait, no, wait. The Seahawks did make the playoffs, didn't they? Yeah, they did. I forgot. They must have been first round exits. Yeah, they were. Who'd they play? The Niners? I don't know. Whatever it was, they got slaughtered. But yeah, the Seahawks I have winning. They're at home, first of all, CenturyLink Field, one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, and they're just the better team. They have the better coach. They have a lot of stuff that's better. Cowboys versus Cardinals. Ever since that cheating scandal came out against the Cardinals, they've been pretty awful. And they had that one good season, and again, it was because they were cheating. They're not a good team. They haven't been for a while, other than that one season. And the Cowboys, not the greatest team. I mean, I guess they had a good season last year, but I think they win. All right. Okay, this next one's gonna probably be a blowout. I expect it to be like 38-10. Chiefs versus Bears. If the Chiefs lose this, they might as well not even go to the playoffs because that's just a walk of shame. I mean, the Bears are 0-2 and they're playing like they're 0-2. They're garbage. If the Chiefs somehow lose this, I will laugh. I mean, it's an Arrowhead. It's an Arrowhead, and it's the Bears. If they don't win, I don't know what to say. Again, Steelers versus Raiders. This sounds like a messy game. Two of some of the most penalized teams in the NFL, in NFL history, I mean. And they're also really old teams. They actually have a really old rivalry that stems back from many, many years ago. Like, how many years ago? Jeez, I don't know. But it's an old school rivalry here. But I have the Raiders winning. I don't think the Steelers have been good for a while. I don't even know who their quarterback is. I don't know who really any of their players are. They don't have Juju. They don't have Antonio Brown, obviously. Well, maybe that's a good thing. But who do they have? I guess Pickens. It's like the only guy I know. Who's their running back? I forgot. James Conner? They don't have that guy anymore. I don't even know who their running back is either. And for the Eagles and Buccaneers, I haven't kept up too much with them, but they don't have Brady. And do they have Mike Evans? I don't know. Did he retire? I don't know. But a lot of their team was old, and Brady's gone. And I don't think they'll win because they were only built their team to be good for a couple seasons. And the Eagles still seem to be a pretty good team, pretty solid team. So I think they should eke out this one pretty easily because the Buccaneers are just not good. Rams versus Bengals. Bengals, they had that fluke loss at the beginning. It was a rivalry game against the Browns. I already commented about it. Rams, again, it was a rivalry game that they won. So the opposite for the Bengals. And it was against the Seahawks, who they always beat. And it's in Cincinnati. And this is yet again a Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago. And I think they already rematched before. I don't remember who won, but I think it was probably the Bengals because the Bengals are the better team, and I think they'll win again. Let's go, Joe Burrow. And that's it. Those are my predictions. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you agree. We'll see in a few days if these predictions were any good. Bye. Have a good day. Good night.